What's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY 87 here, honey, aka Grace, and today we are going to get into another colorful versus muted episode. So I think this is about episode 3, 4, girl. I don't know. I'll be filming them in splats and I have no idea what episode we're actually on, so don't judge. I know we're close to the one I wanted to do where I gave you all a viewer's choice, where I show you different sets, and then I'm gonna have like a voting pool in my community tab when this video goes live for you to determine, like, you know, where it is. But this isn't that video, but that's the plan for one of the videos, so that way you all can partake and actually pick out which ones I use and all that, because I feel like that might be a little more fun, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, on to it. So the first colorful versus muted, I guess, is these two. Now, believe it or not, I didn't realize how some of these color stories were till I started digging through my collection. Y'all know I told y'all in the middle of the night I just be pulling out stuff. So I got the Adept Cosmetics Pause palette. It's really similar to the Huda Beauty, what do you call it? The Huda Beauty Chameleon palette. I know I referred to that one back in the day, but I feel like these are actually pretty close too. I feel like this one might be a little bit more colorful just because it has that pop of red. But otherwise, I feel like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to cover up the red and not drop the palette. Or just hopeless. I get life in order. This is good as it's getting, y'all. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? Like, it has those same peachy tones. It has all those same tones pretty much. I feel like this one's more colorful though because it has colorful mattes. I know they both have that brown whatever, but I just feel like there's a little bit more colorful mattes in the Menagerie one than there is in the, you know, the Melt Cosmetics electric one. So that's why I'm saying this one's the colorful one, this is more muted one, but they're definitely giving me different vibes. Now I like the formula of the Menagerie one much better than I like the formula of the what do you call this, the electric palette. I feel like a lot of people were actually disappointed in this. Even Betty Jean said she was disappointed in it, and she likes all her melt palettes, even though, you know, a lot of us are like kind of have mixed feelings depending on which melt palette you're talking about. But even she was disappointed about this palette, so that's how I know it's like a really big change with melt, because Betty Jean likes just about every melt palette. Sorry, Betty Jean does like every melt palette she tries, but I thought that they looked similar enough, and I did feel like this was a more muted version once you cover up that red, and this just has more mattes to it. So this is the first one I picked out. Then secondly, I don't know how y'all gonna feel about this one. I felt like it was somewhat similar, but I didn't feel like it was like super similar, so I was like, I guess I'll throw it in here. I don't know, this was one of those I was gonna put in the viewer's choice, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna screw it, I'm gonna just put it in this one. So next colorful versus muted, I have, I'm trying to find a way to hold this palette, is the Haunted palette from Gourmand Girls and Beaute Bar alongside the what is this, the Halloween Town palette from Melt Cosmetics. Sorry, both the mirrors reflected and hit me in the face, and it's hard. Okay, so I feel like the Melt one is the more muted one, if you will, because it's definitely more darker jewel tone side. It doesn't have as much color as the Doodles by the Bunny one was. So the Doodles by the Bunny is the colorful one, and this is the more muted one. But I felt like they were somewhat similar, but I mean, you can comment down below and tell me if you feel differently. I honestly don't know. I probably won't do one with these two just because I'm like, since I was iffy about it, the last thing I want to do is, you know, push that out. On the next one I have, I'm excited about in the, what is it, colorful versus muted, is another Gourmand Girls from Doodles by the Bunny. Can you tell I love Doodles by the Bunny's color stories? But I feel like this palette was really similar to Dark Star by Pat McGrath. This is one of her holiday collections. I want to say this was like 2019 or something like that. I feel like it's, well, definitely one of the older ones, if you will. Might be 2018, child, I don't know. But I definitely feel like Doodles by the Bunny is more colorful than the Pat McGrath one, because she just gives you a whole bunch of neutral tones. At least with this one, you get neutrals and you get bold like shimmers, and you get like deeper tone colorful mattes at the end of the day. Sorry, I'm trying to hold it where it doesn't, the mirror doesn't mess up too hard, but the flap doesn't. Okay, yeah, let's just do that. So I feel like the Doodles by the Bunny will definitely look similar to it, and I did not expect it to. I was expecting it to, you know, like be more similar to the what do you call it, the Blueprint palette, with just like a pop of yellowish gold. And I guess you could look at it like that as well. So it dupes a couple of other palettes, but I feel like it would go best with the Pat McGrath one. Plus, y'all know I was too lazy to reorganize my what's that palette, the what is that palette, to reorganize my Blueprint palette, because y'all know I redid mine to make it look more, you know, what I feel like a blueprint looks like, and not that. But I definitely will be comparing each one of these side by side, so you can stay tuned for that, girl. That's one of the ones I do a separate, just dedicated video of an eye look on, just because I feel like they're so close that you just have to do it. So the next one I have with the colorful versus muted is this Beauty Bay and Alice in Wonderland palette from Disney, alongside the Aurora palette from the Aura palette from Ace Beauty. Now I felt like these were somewhat similar when it came to tones. I feel like this is like the brighter fun sister of this palette, because you see it has more of the deeper grungier green tones, and then it has some of the purples with it. So I feel like it would be fun to just show these side by side. This is what I'm gonna do a video on. I'm trying to do videos on the ones that they still have in stock or that are still existing, and I know this one sold out a while ago and I haven't seen it on Beauty Bay in a while, so I don't want to do that as a general rule. The only reason I'm doing the Pat McGrath one is to give you alternative while the Gourmand Girls one is still available. But yeah, so this one to me is definitely more colorful than this one, just because it has all poppy, fun, bright mattes. So next one I have, this one was one I didn't think about immediately when I saw it, but when I really thought about it and looked into it, I was like, maybe. But so this colorful versus muted is the Nomad New Zealand Stargazing palette alongside the Cosmos palettes from ABH. If you all remember, I told you one of my friends bought it for me for Christmas along with the, I think it's Fall Romance one, as a Christmas present, because certain brands she knows I don't buy from, but since I do reviews and I talk about how stuff looks similar to other stuff with her, a lot of the time she'll just go ahead and like pick up some of the things for me for Christmas sometimes if it's something I feel like I can do a lot of good dupe videos with. This is the ABH shade, by the way, because it showed up crushed, so it gives a nice sparkle effect to it, if you will. Now I'm going to hold this one up kind of like this and not fully up, because I don't want anything to fall out till I get to repress it some more. But here's what both of them look like. I definitely feel like this is a more colorful version of it, because I feel like all the colors in here are similar to colors in here, but they're just like a more muted tone, because y'all know the ABA should really give you that much colorful stuff besides Riviera, and you'd have to buy from the Norvina collection to get anything colorful. But I definitely feel like this is a muted version of this palette, and I feel like once I've showed it to you now, you won't be able to unsee it. So if you like a more muted version of that, I definitely think you should check it out. I'm actually gonna put these side by side just because I've never done a video with this. I had it, I think you all seen me do an eye look with it on Instagram, but you've never actually seen me do a dedicated video. So I'm definitely gonna do a dedicated video between these two, just because I feel like somebody might be interested in that. So there you go. I just gotta find time to film all these videos, because girl, I feel like I feel like there's always never enough time to do all the stuff that I need to do, but I still find myself trying to do it. So I'm like, here we are gonna do it. I got one more to show. I got one more set to show that's sitting right next to me, but let's get this one out the way. So the next muted versus colorful, we have the Disney and Alamar Cosmetics Encanto palette alongside the Hella palette from Angie. So of course Angie would have the colorful palette, even though it's a little more muted for Angie. I still feel like it's more colorful than this one. So here's what both of them look like side by side. I feel like you only get a couple of these colorful that's right here, but it's definitely giving similar vibes to Angie's palette in my personal opinion. I'm trying to show it where, since it has a colorful border around, it's hard to kind of like show it hands on, so I'm trying. Let's see, but that border is really making it hard for me to like get the colors to truly focus. But this is what they look like side by side. I'm kind of interested in doing a side by side with these, but the only thing is both these palettes don't exist anymore. So this is one you'd have to tell me like if you want me to do it, and then I'll film a dedicated one to it. But otherwise I don't plan on it, just because, you know, you literally can't get either one of these palettes anymore. So I'm like, you know, I don't see the purpose of doing it, because you can't get it anymore. Okay, so the last one I have to talk about is one in another video, which is why I wasn't in the stack it's supposed to be in. So this is the colorful versus muted. So I have the Give Me Glow Bad Witch Club palette. My friend gave me hers because she wasn't using it, and I told her I thought it was a good dupe for some more palettes in my collection, and I'm literally about to do a video with this same palette again on about a dupe situation. But this is the Lethal Cosmetics Wildflower palette. Now this is supposed to be an extension of their Night Flower collection. If you all remember that blue purple palette that I'm in love with and obsessed with, is one of my favorite blue purple palettes in my collection. It's from them. This is the lighter version of that palette, but here's what they look like side by side. I definitely feel like they give off similar vibes, but since this one has more neutral colors in it, I feel like this was a more muted version and this is the more colorful version, if you will. But I like both of the color stories of them just fine, and I'm thinking about doing one with these, so that way, like, you know, if you missed out on this one, you can see that you have an alternative to it, because I don't know if they still have this one in stock on their website. I haven't bought from the brand or talked about them or had anything to do with them in a while. Ever since they had that incident with Tina the Fancy Face, I just kind of was like, you know, I'm good. But this is what they both look like side by side. So let me know if you want a video on these one, then I will, but I don't plan on just doing a video on it. Although I feel like it would be somewhat interesting, I don't know. I kind of just don't want to know what that means. So I'm probably not gonna do it. But those, okay y'all, so I forgot one more palette while I told you goodbye, so my bad. But the last Colorful versus Muted is the Planet Spirit palette from Betty Jean Wooden's alongside the Menagerie Sugar Hill palette. So I was going over some old palette comparisons in my in order to make my shorts playlist of all these palette comparisons, because people like to watch the shorts but don't necessarily want to, like, you know, listen to me talk. I mean, I know y'all, my followers do, but some people just like my palette comparison shorts. So I made a whole playlist for anybody who's interested in that. Random side note, but I ran across this one. I was like, oh yeah, those are really similar. So of course Betty Jean's would be the colorful one. It's Betty Jean. And then the Sugar High palette is more of a neutral one, just because they added pops of neutral in it. So like I'm counting these like 3 shades here as more neutral tones compared to all the other stuff going on in this palette. But I'm definitely interested to put these side by side, so I'm definitely going to be going ahead and doing that in one of the videos throughout this year. So be able to look forward to that one. Okay, now I'm done for real, but I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.